Princess Consuela banana hammock, banana hammock, banana hammock.
So what we have here is a fuel injection tester and cleaner from launch. This is a pretty basic unit. And what we're going to try to do, since we had this issue at the drag strip where we seem to have been running lean on cylinder 4, we're going to try to make, now the thing about this injector tester is it's only made for top feed injectors, so normally you put an injector on this rail and then essentially mount that rail like that, and then you test them, spray them into the tubes and measure at various pulse widths and whatnot, what kind of flow they have. But since we're running a side feed injector, I'm going to somehow modify this rail, which is a side feed rail, to fit kind of like this, and then I can essentially plumb in a line, probably block that side off and plumb this side to the line, and that way we can pressurize that rail and see if we can get some flow rates on these injectors and figure out if it's an injector issue or if we have something else going on.
So what we've got going here is we're building fuel rail adapters to allow the side feed fuel rails to fit on our fuel injection tester, which is made for top feed rails. So what I've done is taken a stock rail and basically built some little end adapters. One's a block off plate and the other one's going to allow me to attach the fuel feed from the test bench to this fuel rail. So it's pretty simple. Things don't have to be complicated to work, and it worked surprisingly well.
So the first thing you might notice while testing this is the stock injector here versus the modded injector there. There's really no spray pattern per se. Stock at least has what you can identify as a spray pattern coming out in kind of a triangular shape. This is just, can't even describe what that looks like. But considerably more flow, same pulse width. Wasn't doing a measured test, but about twice the flow. We're at 35 in one and 67.5 in the other. So they really are flowing more. But the real question is how much more. So we're going to find that out in a minute. Like I said, this is a stock injector here, and the modded here that was supposed to have flowed at 830 when it was tested previously. So we're going to see what they actually flow. Alright, so I have the injector from cylinder 2 and cylinder 4 here, and as we found out at the drag strip, cylinder 4 for some reason is running considerably hotter than cylinder 2, 1, and 3. So I have them in the injector tester, and what we're going to do is a test at the same pulse width that we were having a problem with at the track. So at 5,000 RPMs is where we started seeing this misfire. The pulse width was actually 17 milliseconds. Let's get down there. And we'll run this test for 10 seconds. Hopefully we don't overflow the tube in that time. So we're going to press run. The pressure's preset at 43 psi. You can see already cylinder 4 is just not keeping up with cylinder 2 by a massive difference. So there's why we melted a spark plug. So in 10 seconds, so the injector on cylinder 2 flowed about 76 milliliters of fluid, and the one on cylinder 4 flowed a whopping 42.5. So something is clogging up that injector. Definitely the reason for the failure right there. So it's pretty cool to have this kind of equipment, because when you do have a failure, you can go in and find out why. Unfortunately, you still have a failure, and in some cases that's catastrophic. Fortunately, in our case, that wasn't a catastrophic failure. but this at least tells us something. So we're doing a full throttle test. I'm probably gonna have to stop at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Yeah, I have 3 seconds left. So, well, as you can see, after cleaning them, there's still quite a variance in the two injectors. I don't have a gradient for that line, but it looks like about 120, about 125 in one and about 115 in the other. So that's about a 7% difference between the two injectors, which is a lot of variance. So it's not good. I can trim for this in the computer so that they'll be even, but the thing is we have to wonder what's causing that massive difference in flow. Fat Boy, Klondike, Minis. Wait, is it? Choco Taco! Meow, said the catfish. Meow. It needs some whiskers. It kind of is a catfish. Like, you look at the outside, you're like, ooh, it's some kind of supercar. And then you come to the inside, and it's just a Subaru. Lol. Let's get this engine cover off and get to work on the last couple little things that need to be done to get this thing running right. It's magic, the back comes off. There it is. You were catfished. It's really a Subaru. This is a, what is this, Andy? This is a 255 block with forged pistons and
257.
257.
Forged CP pistons, stock cranks, stock rods, stock 2-liter heads. Yeah.
What turbo?
Turbo. FP
HTA 68.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the may it rest in peace. The best turbo they ever made for these cars that they stopped making.
Yep.
If you wanted a good stock location, decent power.
Yep.
Andy's beautiful taillight wiring.
Hey, come on now.
It's about as beautiful as the rest of the wiring that I did. So what we got to do today is we have to actually go in and modify the triggers a little bit, the way that they're wired in, so we can get a cleaner signal to the computer, which will let it run and idle a little bit better, and then hopefully start way faster, he says. So you can see the way they ducted these. It's kind of janky. So on this rear cover here, it's got these little tiny vent scoops, one on each side. There's one over there too. And they come in. Oh yeah, Vanna White, show me how they come in. Like that. And then it feeds the intercooler.
There's a nice bar in the way. It's air splitter, goes around to separate the airflow.
It's not brilliant, so might look into doing something about that. My thought is to do a water to air intercooler here, and then do a heat exchanger up front in the car where there's plenty of room, and then just run some hose, you know, down where the radiator pipe runs. There it goes. But we'll see. We'll probably just run it like this for a while. One of the biggest downsides to these little kit cars is where the heck do you put your Rockstar? Not any other beverage, but your Rockstar. See, I could put it here, but then if I put the brake down... Actually, the other disadvantage is I'm a bigger guy. Let's see if we can see this. I can't get to the gas pedal. There we go. Alright, we're on the gas pedal now. But now, in order to drive the car, I can only be that way, or else my knee hits the steering wheel. So, I mean, I don't really see a problem with only ever being that way. But, you know, the police might see a problem with that. Let's see what else. If I tuck in here, this is my eye vision. I can almost see the dash. There we go. Oh, the steering wheel still locks. I'm just gonna have to squeeze down a little more. There we go. All right. Yeah, you need a smaller steering wheel, Andy, and yeah, I wanted one of these till I sat in yours. So anyway, we're gonna log in here and mess with the triggers and get this thing running a little better. money.
Right. 6 figures. Okay, well.
I'll show you guys what it made, but we don't do that around here.
I got rotational idle door. What do you do?
Yeah.
All loaded up and ready to go. So that was the last pull that Dyno ever did. We'd been considering putting in a new dyno for a while and figured while we were in Colorado it'd be a good time to start construction. So we had to dig a pit for the new dyno. It's the Dyno Jet 440 with links, and it's a pretty serious dyno. Yeah, they let me run a tractor for a minute. We moved our old dyno outside because we still had dyno appointments for the week after shift sector. So we figured we could run the old dyno outside while the new dyno was being installed. It's a pretty extensive process pouring concrete, and there's my sweet Corolla on the dyno. First car I put on it, didn't really do anything with it. But quick layover in Sacramento. Tacos. Mahi mahi fish tacos even. So here we are in beautiful, sunny Colorado Springs, Colorado, getting ready for the shift sector half-mile airstrip attack. Just warming up the transmission, driving the car around the pit a little bit. So this car is pretty unique. It's still running the factory computer, which is pretty rare for a car of this caliber, making around 1,000 horsepower. We have a cap sequential 6-speed transmission. It's running the cob access port to program the computer with some custom mapping from them that you won't see on any other car. Shh, it's a secret. Parachute, because you got to stop these things, and at that kind of speed it's very difficult with the small brakes. We have the P&L Racing drag brakes on there, as you can see. Our sponsors: APA Anodizing, Cobb, LA Sleeve, Killer B Motorsports, Radiant Engineering, Extreme Turbo Systems with this brand new giant precision turbo. We've got the Process West intake manifold. The car is actually running a mechanical fuel system, E98 ethanol fuel, and a set of Grams 2200cc injectors. So it's the pretty basic run through of the car. Like I said, it makes around 1,000 horsepower, and our goal was about 200 miles an hour. Got to have those burritos for breakfast. You know, that's how we do. So
Yeah, here it is.
we did kind of fall short of our goal at this event. We were plagued with some boost control issues, and by the time we figured out the boost control, who taught me to film? Completely lost the car. There it is. So had to take another taco break. Got a little taco on my access port. Trying to figure out these boost control issues. Turned out it wasn't a tuning issue. It was actually a mechanical issue with the wastegate. Once we had that issue fixed, it had been hurt at that point. Here's HP Academy taking some pictures of our access port. They were surprised we were still running the access port in the car that was moving this fast. We did, I think, 193 miles an hour at this event, and just couldn't get the boost up in the elevation. It was a stellar pass, 280 miles an hour.
250.
250.14 miles an hour. That's a good way to start your day, huh?
I came here yesterday. Come back like that.
Nope, he's out.
200. GRE Racing. Oh, no, he's out.
No smoke though.
Holy cow, look at that mullet. I'm not sure in my whole life, and I grew up in Pendleton, Oregon. I'm not sure I've seen a mullet that awesome. This guy's my hero. I want to be him. Well, it was time to go home. Gotta get some Taco Bell. I'm gonna try to get better video next time at these events. It's just hard to take video and actually do my job and work and make these cars fast. But I try. So we got the new dyno pit finished, concrete in, and it was time to install the dyno. This is a pretty big chunk of machinery. It's considerably more substantial than the old one. The retarders alone are 4 times the size, but it can handle a lot more power and should be a little bit more consistent from pole to pole, as we were having some issues with the old one. And figured the best car to put on it was mine for the inaugural run. So here we are. These are just test pulls to make sure the dyno is working, but the horsepower at about 10 pounds is 220, which is right where we were before. So everything seems to be working good. And there's the dyno fully assembled. And now for one of my biggest pet peeves.
When you're trying to tune a car and they have Pro Sport gauges installed and you're trying to write a map and oh, there it goes. Oh, yes, you have 0 PSI oil pressure because the engine's off, you jack. Gosh. People expect us to just work through this. Crazy.
Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Sorry it took so long to get this video out. Hopefully I'll have the next one up a little bit quicker. Hoping to get to the track next weekend possibly. So if I do, I will put those videos up so you all can see it. Bye.